Hey everyone, I'm Sarah, and this is my timeline of my journey leading up to and the 3 years participating in the Clinical Counseling Graduate Program at Colorado Christian University. During my undergrad, I read the book A Work of Heart by Reggie McNeil. McNeil states that capturing and mimicking techniques will not deliver spiritual breakthrough. This happens only at a heart level. Heart shaping involves both divine and human activity. God does not unilaterally mold and sculpt passive human beings who exercise no role in scripting their life development. And reflecting on my journey into counseling, I can see how God has been preparing my heart, but I also have been an active participant. First, I should say that my mom's a counselor. She went back to school in her 30s like I did. Every counseling career assessment I would take in high school identified that I should consider counseling or social work. That wasn't happening after seeing what my mom just went through and hearing about emotions constantly and all that stuff. But my first passion was horses. Out of high school, I graduated with a degree in equine science and management, and I trained horses for many years at a large horse training facility. Horses have been a large piece of my life and have been my teachers emotionally and relationally. After years of showing horses, God prompted me into a new venture. I started working at a store called Maurice's and was the store manager for 13 years in multiple locations. Before I worked at the store, I was very shy and awkward. I'm still pretty awkward, but this position opened me up socially, taught me leadership skills, training skills, how to connect with multiple people, how to read people, gave me a deep desire to help hurting people, and curiosity in human behavior. I would not have the courage to pursue a degree in counseling if not for this step in my life. God once again placed on my heart it was time to grow again. For fun, I was reading a book on attachment, and He placed on my heart to continue my education in the counseling-related field. Although I did not make the move for 2 years because I was scared, I finally signed up for a psychology degree at Colorado Christian University. Midway through my psychology degree, God once again asked me to be courageous and quit Maurice's. I put in my resignation and promised to stay through the dreaded holiday season without another job in line. My last day at Maurice's, a customer came in that I felt prompted to make a special connection with. It turned out she worked at the local crisis center and set me up with a job. Although I have not recommend quitting a job before having another job lined up, my prayers were answered and God provided a way. After I graduated with my undergrad in psychology, the next natural step for me was to interview for the Masters of Counseling program at CCU. I was accepted and my grad school journey began. Residency 1 stands out as the first major event. I learned basic skills, got my first tattoo, and started friendships that would motivate and help me throughout the program. I maintained my job as a behavioral health crisis worker while attending CCU. This provided a vast amount of experience in suicidal and homicidal ideation, substance use, remaining calm in high-stress situations, and I saw a variety of diagnoses. I also worked as a child protection intake worker for the county. This was an incredibly difficult and emotionally wearing job. There were lots of tears and long days, but this equipped me in a vast amount of experience in family systems, attachment, solution-focused family work, safety assessment, different resources in the community, and the court system. Although it was difficult maintaining such difficult work during grad school, I am extremely thankful for the experience. As all of you know, working and attending grad school brings on little sleep and late nights. Coffee became a necessity. Classes and assignments that stand out are empathy, all of the anxiety-provoking role plays, and the spiritual retreat and spiritual formation. Some classes taught me I was more resilient than I thought. Our friend Fred made me want to literally pull out my hair. And who would forget research? My brain still struggles to comprehend that all, but I can say I will forever be a researcher. Thank you, Dr. Casilius. My personal life maintained busy, even though I was busy in my professional life. I had exciting things happen, such as getting engaged and building our first home. But I also lost 2 babies to miscarriage and had a bad horse accident where I broke my elbow. Although there were a lot of positive things happening, the grief plus our world shutting down for COVID-19 created one of the most spiritually, relationally, and physically difficult times in my life. And as the world shut down for the COVID-19 pandemic and the entire counseling profession was impacted, Residency 2 had to go on online format also. Although CCU did a terrific job in adapting to these circumstances, it was not the same without the fellow cohort friends. Professional orientation is where I saw the most growth in me professionally and personally. Just for reference, that little girl crying up in the corner was me at the beginning of practicum. Just kidding, kinda. I found my original theoretical orientation I had picked did not work for me at all, and I learned to sit in the ambivalence of therapy. I learned about myself and relationship and grew to be more authentically me. I am so very thankful for the terrific church I practiced at and the wonderful supervisor who created the space but gave me gentle direction when I needed it. Although it was not an easy process, God placed me right where He needed me to be, and I chose to follow. Residency 3 was back in person and an amazing experience. Connections with fellow cohort students made the learning experience so much more fulfilling, and I learned profound statements like, it depends on your state, the reality of private practice, created a memory tree, was completely terrified with the group project, and reconnected with friends that now have become my safe people that I can count on to help me clinically and personally. These are the only people that totally understand what it's like to go through grad school in a national pandemic. Life is about relationship, and I wouldn't have been able to do anything without the people that have made this journey possible. First, I want to thank every single professor for the patience and wisdom they have given me. Every single one of them have left a dent in my growth. Second, nothing would be possible without the friends who listened to me when I wanted to quit. I appreciate the space they give me to vent and not try to fix things. As silly as it sounds, I want to thank my horses and dogs. They non-judgmentally held space for me, and sometimes just being with animals makes everything better. I'm so thankful for my fiance who picked up on feeding horses and helping me around the house when I just was too busy. And I want to thank you for him putting up with me being grumpy a lot of the times and still extended love to me. And last but not least, I wanted to thank my mom. All 6 years of my school, she has stood by me, read my papers for mistakes, and has given me clinical advice. Without her encouragement and example, it would have been a much harder process. McNeil states that when a leader loses heart, he loses. Through this challenging process, I have not lost heart. I can see how this process has only strengthened and prepared my heart for the future. After graduation, I will be combining my passion for horses and love for people by focusing on equine therapy. I have been presented a wonderful opportunity through my site to be trained in equine therapy, and I will provide continuation of care for a clinician that is moving out of state. I am looking forward to this process of change and the surrender of whatever God has for my future. We did it, guys, and we didn't quit. And here is my McNeil reference. Thank you.